I'm Derek Robinson. My debut science fiction thriller is coming out later this year, and I'm going to be doing the audiobook for it myself. So I figured I'd get a little bit of practice in and do a little audiobook narration of a short story that I wrote. So this is the beginning of it. If you want me to finish it, I'll maybe post the whole thing. It was nestled within a stack of otherwise meaningless parcels in the mail, a worn and faded envelope that had my name scribbled on it. It was written in my mother's handwriting. Ricky. The letter arrived a day before my 40th birthday. It was 13 years after ovarian cancer had stolen my mother from our family. I knew the postal service wasn't great, but 13 years? My sister, June, must have found this in a box of relics and sent it to me. She had always been sentimental. I grabbed a knife and sliced open the envelope, retrieving a sheet of notebook paper that donned my mother's unmistakable writing. Ricky. Remember the big oak tree down by the Little League field? The one you fell from and cut your hand when you were 9? There's something buried beneath it you need to see. Bring a shovel. Love always, Mom. I put the letter down and furrowed my brow in confusion. What was this? Why hadn't my mother just told me about this secret burial before she passed? And how did this envelope sit undisturbed for over 13 years? My conversation with June only muddied the waters. She had no clue what I was talking about. She had never seen the envelope before. Early the next morning, I drove to the old ball field, the field where once upon a time I was king of the league. It brought back memories. The diamond was barren and unkempt, but in a good way. Nearly everything else from the luscious greens that I remember spanning outward from that old oak tree had since been infringed upon by developers nibbling at its edges with shops and apartment complexes. Feeling sillier than I could ever remember feeling, I gripped my shovel and circled the tree. Where was I supposed to dig? The tree was massive. I didn't particularly feel like going to jail for mutilating a public park, so I hoped to find a signal, some clue that would tell me where to look. After a few minutes of searching, I noticed a faded arrow carved into the tree's bark, pointing downward. Above it, this time in what vaguely looked like my own childhood writing, was scribbled Ricky. I had no memory of burying a time capsule here. We made time capsules for school projects now and then, but I had no recollection of doing so in this park, where I had spent so many of my childhood summers. Hoping there were no cops or other persons of authority wandering the area, I dug. The sun was still rising. The grass was glazed with the morning dew. A few minutes later, my shovel clanked into the solid edge of an item buried about a foot below the surface.